It's now time to create a table. What we're going to do in this video is a bunch of things. We're going to modify the primary key. We'll talk about a little bit what that means. Create the remaining fields in the table using our datasheet view. We'll also look at this in design view. We'll save the table, and then we'll add some records to the table. Here's just a general overview of what the table of our owners, or the structure of our owners table is going to look like. We're going to have several fields that are listed along the side here. We also have several data types. You'll notice all of them for the purpose of this table are just going to be short text. We're also going to change and modify the field size. That is going to limit how many characters. So for instance, the owner ID will allow us to put up to 5 numbers within that field. One of the things that we need to do when we create a table, and this is pretty much automatically done for you, is create what's called the primary key. And a primary key is just a unique identifier of, in this case, the pet owner. But if you think about Infinite Campus and how all of you are stored in a database through that, every single one of you has an ID number, and your student ID number is specific to you. We might have a lot of students that have the same last name. Perhaps you have a brother or sister here that live at the same address, but each of your ID numbers is unique to you so that your counselor, your teachers, your administrators, they're able to look you up using that number. And that is the primary key that we're going to use. We're going to give each pet owner a 5-digit ID number that's going to be unique to them. So in Access, we're going to go ahead and create our first field under our table. If you have this textbook project thing open, you can close out of that. So to begin, we will right-click on ID up here, and we're just going to rename this field, and we're going to call it Owner, O-W-N-E-R, capital O. Then we're going to do a space ID. You'll notice that when the table is being modified, we have some new tabs that pop up, and we're going to use those here in just a second. Underneath Owner ID, where it says New, you can just click that little box there, and we're going to change the data type. You'll notice that this automatically defaults to auto number. We are going to change that to short text. We are also going to modify the field size right over here to where it says 255. We're just going to hit backspace and change that to 5. That means at the most, 5 pieces of text, or in this case numbers, will be able to be inserted into this field. Okay, so we'll just click off of that. 5 should enter in there. And under the Properties tab, we are going to click on Name and Caption. We're going to leave the name as Owner ID. We will then change the caption. So we're just going to kind of abbreviate what this Owner ID actually appears as. So we're going to do a capital O. And then we're going to do an underscore, which is going to be a shift and dash, which is next to the 0, and then capital I, capital D. Under description, you are going to type in that this is going to be a unique identifier, make sure you're spelling correctly, of the pet owner. And once you've verified your spelling, just go ahead and click OK. We are now going to enter in our next field. So where it says click to add, you can go ahead and click on that. You'll notice that it asks you for the data type. All of the data types in this field are going to be short text. So click on short text there. We are going to make this labeled as owner space first space name. Make sure you capitalize the O, the F, and the N, and then you can just click under the white space to modify it. We don't see the full field name, so just like in Excel, you can kind of either drag that over or just double-click to auto-fit it. And then we'll change the field size from owner first name from 255, and we're going to change that down to 50. All right. Now, from here, you're going to be responsible for putting in the rest of the fields yourself. You will just continually click to add. They're all going to be short text, and we're going to modify the field sizes. The next one, for instance, is 50. So you can do that one of 2 ways. Number 1 would be to pause the video here in just a second. Or number 2 is if you go into our Access Chapter 1 folder, you'll see this screenshot structure of the owner's table. So here is what the owner's table is going to look like. You're going to enter in last name, street, city, state, postal, phone, home, mobile, and email address. All data types are all short text, and then the field size does change for each of those field names. So pause the video, enter in the rest of these fields. once you're done, I would just auto fit all of your columns just by double clicking in between, or you can just drag those out so we can see the full field name. We're going to double check this, and first we need to save the table. So to save the table, we'll just go ahead and up here click the save button. It's going to ask us to save the table name, and we're going to type in owners, plural. Click OK. Now the best way to check this, and the way I like to create tables, is through design view. So up in the home tab, you can change the view from datasheet view into design view, and you'll see all of your fields listed. You'll see a little key button right here to show that the owner ID is the primary key, along with the description that we put in. I would encourage you to make sure that you double check all of your spelling and you double check all of your field sizes on here real quick. Just because otherwise Sam's going to mark that wrong as it's looking to grade this for you. When you are going through each of those, however, what you can do, you'll see the data type up here, and down here you'll see the field size. So for instance, the field size for street is 255. The field size for state, right, IL, capital I, capital L, is only going to be 2. So if you just click through those, double check your spelling, that's a good way to kind of just verify you are in the correct spot. Done with this, I would just like you to go ahead and follow along with me here. We could just close out of this and hit the X, and we'll still have our database open, but the object has been closed. So once you closed it, over here on the navigation pane, we can reopen that table. And now it's time to add some records. Make sure you are in, not design view, but in datasheet view. And this is where we're going to enter in our pet owners. Click in your table. We'll click on our first owner. We're just going to label the owner ID as capital O-1. I can move from one tab to the next by either selecting tab or just clicking. I'm going to hit Ted. Last name is going to be Sabus, S-A-B-U-S. Street is 460 West Pioneer Road. And you'll see that like I can't see everything, so I'm just going to auto fit each column here as I go through this. So here is the rest of the information for you. I will just leave this up on your screen. Double check your spelling, make sure there's dashes in between the phone numbers. Go ahead and pause the video and enter in the rest of this information. All right, so this is what the structure of your owner's table is going to look like when it is all said and done. Again, double, triple check your spelling and grammar. Otherwise, Sam might mark this wrong. So that is creating a table in Datasheet view.